Mike, you and I have been talking about this for, I guess, 2 years off and on your podcast, my podcast. We did a live stream together about work and work ethic and all that, and we've been talking about the shortage of trades. In the last couple of months, I'm starting to see what I think is a positive reaction to the student loan crisis and the utter disgust with higher ed, and charging $80,000 to get a degree in left-handed puppetry. And so if you're going to study for 4 years, at least study something useful. Hello, you and I, we've hit this drum a lot.
With respect to puppets.
But yeah, that's true. And or left-handed particularly, but
sure.
they're a problem. But I'm starting to hear Gen Z, this youngest generation coming in, having a violent reaction to college. And I keep hearing rumblings that they're going into the trades like no other group has.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if the college thing created that. This is a reaction to, okay, I can be a diesel mechanic and make 110, or I can get a master's degree in sociology and make 38K working for the state, which is just, bass backwards.
Yeah.
So are you seeing any of those rumblings?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and again, you find what you look for, and I've been looking for them. So, I mean, it's not all gloom and doom. The challenge is real, and I don't think you can overstate it. But there was a big article in the Wall Street Journal maybe 2 weeks ago, and I think the headline was Gen Z, the generation tool belt.
Okay.
Right, and it's to your point exactly. Some data finally came in. It was actually pretty encouraging. The number of people enrolling in four-year schools was down markedly. The number of young people enrolling in trade school was up 16, 18%, significantly. So the evidence demands a verdict, right? Title of a great book. Josh McDowell wrote that 40 years ago, I guess. But in my world, when I look around, the evidence is clearly there. It's just clouded by stigmas and stereotypes and myths and misperceptions, and a whole lot of ideas that people have that have affirmatively discouraged the last generation, really the last two generations, from giving the trades an honest look. And this came mostly as a result, I believe, of pushing one path of education as though it was the best path for the most people. Now, to be fair, there was a time when we were, I guess it was mid-70s, where we needed more engineers, we needed more doctors, we needed more people in vocations that required a four-year degree, and so a mighty push emerged to make that happen in our schools, and we all can remember it. It happened around the same time shop class was pulled out of high school. So it was a double whammy. On the one hand, we got rid of all the optical proof of all of the other vocations that give us a balanced workforce. At the same time, we told a whole generation of kids that they were essentially screwed if they didn't take the most expensive path. So when you talk about the cost of college, people often say, God, how did it get that crazy? Well, my answer is, how could it not?
Yeah, one unlimited supply of money called student loans, yeah.
Bottomless money with incredible pressure on a 17, 8-year-old kid to sign on the dotted line and assume a debt that they're not going to be able to shake, right? At least, I mean, unless it's...
No, they can't.
Right. So it was just an amazing parade of horribles lined up to create this perfect storm. But the good news today is this generation, even though we give them a lot of flack, snowflakes and so forth, by the way, we're the clouds from which the snowflakes fell, all right? Like we did this, we set the table.
Helicopters create snowflakes.
That's right, right, and blows them everywhere.
I know it, I've seen it happen.
But we're seeing a real cohort in that generation now say, look, I can add a column of numbers, and I'm not going to start my career with a millstone around my neck. Not when I can make 120 grand welding. Not going to do it.